It's December of 2012, and my family is spending the time between Christmas and New Year's in New Orleans. But our older kid, 14, got the flu, and is not really up for a whole lot of traveling around or sightseeing. And my younger kid, who is 7, is not going to put up with staying in the hotel. So one day, Brian and I agree that he'll stay at the hotel with Eve, and I will take Jade and we'll go do something. Now, the summer before, Jade and I had taken up a new hobby called geocaching. And if you're not familiar, geocaching is a pastime. It's like a giant treasure hunt. People take these containers, big and small, and they hide them all over the world. And then they post the GPS coordinates on a website. And then other people go and find them. And it is a great hobby for an adult to do with a child, because the adult can do sort of the navigation parts of it, and the child sees things and finds things that the adult can't find, and can sneak into the tight spaces to get stuff, and can also go on the adult's shoulders, which turns out to be very handy. So Jade and I set out from our hotel toward the Superdome, which was within walking distance of our house. There were 3 or 4 geocaches that seemed to be right around the Superdome, and so we went off and we started looking for them. We had a great deal of success, and we were having a good time. And there was one more that we wanted to get. The description said, go to the top floor. And then it had a series of numbers. Now, we've been doing this enough that we knew that those numbers probably were going to be the combination to a lock. So we followed the GPS to a parking garage, which was directly across the street from the Superdome, and took the elevator to the top floor, got out, and sure enough, right where the GPS was pointing, there was a metal box on a wall overlooking the Superdome, and it was closed with a combination lock. So perfect. So we walk over there, and I put the combination in the lock, and it doesn't open. So I do that thing, you know, when you can't get a lock open, you spin the wheels to sort of clear them, and I put the combination in, and it doesn't open. And then I noticed that right on a ledge, right under the box, there was a tiny little key. And this lock had a combination, but it also had a keyhole. So I thought, well, I don't know, I've never seen anything like this, but I put the combination into the lock, and I put the key in the keyhole, and it won't open. Now, it's one thing when you cannot find a geocache, but there is absolutely nothing more frustrating than finding it, knowing exactly where it is, and then not being able to get to it. And I was getting frustrated. And I turned to my 7-year-old and I said, find something to break the lock. Luckily, there was nothing around, and I thought to myself, if only I traveled with a hacksaw, but I didn't. And so I said, well, buddy, I guess we're not going to get this one, and we headed back toward the elevator. And as we did, I happened to glance to my left, and there was sort of an alcove in the parking garage, and inside the alcove was a floor-to-ceiling steel cage that was closed with a combination lock. So we went into the alcove, and Jade put the combination in the lock, popped it right open, and inside there was a magnetic container. It was our geocache. So yay, we got it, and we sealed it back up and went back toward the elevator. And as we were coming out, I thought, well, if this is the geocache, what was that? And I looked back over, and there is an absolutely enormous sign, like visible from space enormous, that you could not possibly miss unless you were single-mindedly trying to find a geocache. And on the sign it read, warning, danger, main power supply. So I gave a little thanks that I did not travel with a hacksaw, and we proceeded to the hotel. So about 6 weeks go by, we're back in Ann Arbor, and we're at a friend's house watching the Super Bowl. which that year was played at the Superdome in New Orleans. And we're watching the game, and all of a sudden, there was a power outage. Not where we are, at the Superdome. Half the Superdome was plunged into darkness. And the commentators were just all twitter-pating about it, and what could this be, and is it just an infrastructure problem, or maybe could it be terrorism? And all the people at the party are talking about it. What do you think is going on? And it's so weird, nothing like this ever happens. And I look across the room, and Jade and I catch each other's eye. And we start to laugh. And then Jade said what I think we were both thinking. Oh, someone went geocaching.